I'm Pete Ferryman, and here's the latest news update from Fox 12. The Portland Police Bureau's entire rapid response team has resigned from that team. 50 officers were part of the team and had special training in crowd control. They will remain in their primary roles at the Bureau, we're told. The vote came one day after a Portland police officer was indicted on a fourth-degree assault charge for his actions during a riot.
This also leaves the city exposed with a protest planned for tonight.
Elizabeth, exactly. I just talked to the acting police chief. He says he's never seen anything like this in his career. He explained 50 people will be leaving the RRT but staying as employees within PPB. Let's take a look at some video right now. This comes after a year of protests and riots in Portland and at a time when City Hall has cut funding. The Bureau is also drastically understaffed. This announcement also comes the week an officer was indicted by a grand jury for his alleged action during a protest. The lawyer for Terry Jacobs says cell phone video shows her being assaulted by Portland officer Corey Budworth. And the Oregon Department of Justice announced they'll be investigating a different detective. So I asked if that indictment and investigation were the reason for this mass resignation.
In the resignation of those 50 officers from RRT, did they bring up the indictment of an officer this week and the DOJ investigation into a detective?
They brought up that among a lot of other things, yes. And I guess the way I would characterize this is, as I understand the situation, just having listened to people and really heard what they're saying, I think that really this is the culmination of a very long process, and it's not just an indictment that caused this to happen. They're not feeling like that sacrifice that they have made necessarily has been understood very well.
Groups are already promising autonomous demonstrations tonight, which are events that have commonly devolved into destructive riots here in Portland. The deputy chief said today they would have officers available for protests despite officers leaving that team. Despite our repeated requests for an interview to the DA's office and mayor's office, they have not agreed to go on camera with us today. They have released statements. You can read those statements on coin.com. Back to you.
Well, Liz, and I'm going to share a little bit of Mayor Ted Wheeler's response right now. It just came in minutes ago because we do have a lot of questions about this. Remember, Ted Wheeler, also the police commissioner. So he says in part with this statement, quote, "The city of Portland has the personnel and the resources to ensure our community's safety. Bullshit. I have directed the Portland Police Bureau to prepare mobile field resources to respond to any public safety needs, including potential violence related to mass gatherings. Also, I have spoken to Governor Brown, and the Oregon State Police is making members of its mobile response team available on standby. We are also coordinating with other regional law enforcement partners."
The future just keeps getting futurier.